Okay, well, big news broke yesterday morning. What a way to start the week. I mean, come on, let's talk about black entertainment in general. I think we can all agree over the weekend, the main story that's been blowing up the internet was Chris Rock's new Netflix special, Selective Outrage. I've watched it 3 times. Thought it was pretty good. I don't know if I would put it above Tambourine, though. The Netflix special he did prior to this one. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Maybe I won't. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know what I can add to the conversation. Chris said what he said. Everybody has talked about it. And I mean, maybe I'll do one later this week. Truth be told, I'm only taking time away to do this particular video because a lot of people wanted my thoughts on it yesterday. But yesterday went crazy listing cards on eBay, and I'm still doing more today, trying to stockpile savings because tax time just whooped my behind. So I need to, build up my reserves again. But speaking of money, Tyler Perry, along with Byron Allen, are pursuing the network. The big news being that Tyler Perry is apparently in talks to buy a majority stake in BET as Paramount Global explores a sale. A bunch of news outlets have, covered this. I am getting this information from Variety.com. And as always, there will be a link to the article in the comment section below. There's only a couple of paragraphs worth reading because everything else pretty much lists out the resumes of, both, men who are trying to get the majority stake. And then after I read from the article, I'm going to give my thoughts. And just so you know, I'm no expert in this field, but I'm guessing, of course, majority stake owner means they can pretty much warp the network however they want to. All right, so Perry and Allen are vying to purchase a majority stake of BET Media amid reports that Paramount Global is exploring a sale of the asset. Kind of reminds me of when Oprah no longer, had majority ownership of OWN, where she sold most of it to Discovery. Variety has confirmed that Perry is in talks to acquire the network, while a spokesperson for Allen also stated he's interested in buying BET, and he will be pursuing the acquisition of the network. Perry currently owns a minority stake in the operation, which includes, BET, VH1, and also produces a large portion of the programming available on BET and BET Plus. I mean, come on now. We already know this. I will say this is the thing about the article that had me going, wow, okay, I see what shows you care about and which ones you don't. In addition to selections from Perry's film library, among Perry's projects that are currently available on BET as well as the streaming service, listen to this: House of Pain, Sisters, The Oval, Ruthless, Zatima, and Assisted Living. Notice anything? Bruh is not mentioned at all. I'm like, this show cannot catch a break. I mean, look, it has 3 seasons in the books. Zatima only has 1. But bruh couldn't even make this list. Bruh couldn't get no love. Every show that's on BET, every show that's on BET Plus got mentioned, but bruh. I'm not a bruh apologist. You all know I didn't care about season 3. But regardless if a show is bad or not, it's still part of the catalog. So, I don't know. Maybe they just want to forget about it. But there is a season 4. But bruh ain't got no social media. Every other show does. I mean, Zatima technically is intertwined in Sisters and the BET Plus one. But what? Bruh just can't catch a break. All right. Let me go ahead and look over the article again. Yeah, so far, there's really not much else to read aside from, according to the Wall Street Journal, Paramount Global is interested in selling off BET in an article published Monday. The decision to consider selling a majority stake of the assets, which cater primarily to black audiences, is part of the entertainment giant's effort to shore up resources to bolster its flagship Paramount Plus streaming service. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And let's see here. And its advertiser-supported free streaming platform, Pluto TV. Some of the people said, I have never heard of Pluto TV. I'll have to check that out. Earlier in the year, Paramount announced it would be rebranding both Showtime's linear and streaming platforms as Paramount Plus, with Showtime folding the iconic brand into its priority streamer Paramount Plus. The move has already led to significant leadership changes and layoffs across the company. Representatives for Paramount and Perry did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Now, ironically enough, I saw a video. I think it was like an MCU kind of video talking about how the MCU, needs to slow down. I mean, everybody's talking about that nowadays. But I think one of the interesting subjects during that podcast or video I was listening to, one person was saying, yeah, I could see within the next 5 years or so, there won't be as many streaming platforms as there are currently, because a lot of them really aren't bringing in the numbers. Netflix, Disney Plus, they're kind of at the top. Everything else is, trying to play catch up. Not everybody can be a streaming service because not everyone has the catalog that would lead to huge numbers. I mean, no offense, but look at BET Plus. That really doesn't have huge numbers. Hence why you see Tyler Perry making a lot of content for a Netflix, a streaming platform with bigger numbers than a BET Plus. Then on top of that, I think one of the earliest examples, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been years, but I think DC Universe was a streaming platform where a bunch of, DC animated shows, movies, live action series were on there, but it didn't do well. So then it folded into, I want to say, HBO Max, because, DC Universe just wasn't getting any numbers. So I could see the same thing happening with a lot of these streaming platforms, like a Power Ranger Megazord, multiple components will merge together into one being, or in this case, one streaming platform, because there's like 50 streaming services out there. Not all of them will stand the test of time, if not the end of this year. So Paramount Plus is definitely something where I could see BET Plus probably ending up in there at some point. A lot of people have been saying that for years, but yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say in regards to the article itself. Now it's time to shift gears into, if Tyler Perry were to buy the majority stake, what could that mean for BET moving forward? Am I excited about it? This, that, and a third. So yeah, like I said, this video was first part, let's talk about the article. Second part, I'll give my 2 cents. Okay, as I said at the beginning of the video, I couldn't tell you what it would mean to own majority stake, aside from the fact that it seems that if you do own the majority stake, you're in charge and able to, make decisions, make the calls, and, do things the way you want to, which, to be completely honest, doesn't seem too different from what Viacom has allowed Tyler Perry to do with his content on BET. Yes, I know he has Young Dylan on Nickelodeon, but I really just want to focus on BET, since that's what the majority stake deal, is about right now. That's trending. On the one hand, black man owning BET, putting BET being in charge, by black people again, amazing. That's great. But then I look at it from the content that's currently on. Now, for the past, almost 4 years, going on 4 years now, it's been the Tyler Perry channel, not just the multiple new shows that are on now, but, reruns of Meet the Browns, House of Pain, the $5 bin or in Walmart, the $3.74 bin Tyler Perry movies, like Witness Protection, heavily underrated. I still think that movie is underrated. Family Funeral and a number of other films. So people have been saying for the past almost half decade at this point, yeah, BET is essentially the Tyler Perry network. Also, I do find it, kind of ironic and funny that originally Tyler Perry wanted his own streaming service, Tyler Vision. But then due to like Dish Network removing Viacom from its cable package, and then, behind the scenes talks, with Viacom itself, BET or Plus became, the thing where Tyler Perry decided, you know what? Hey, let's go ahead and work together on this, which, on the one hand makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're planning to create something and you were going to be, like the one putting up all the money, but then a big corporation or another, company decides, hey, we have an idea similar to yours. So how about this? How about we work together? That way you don't have to put up all the money, but at the same time, you could do pretty much what your original plan was, all your content in one spot, but we'll also have a BET catalog to back you up, or Viacom catalog to back you up. Hey, let's do it. I'm not taking a full risk by myself. I'm getting my original plan out there, so let's do it. So BET Plus was created. And, unfortunately, BET Plus doesn't do the numbers, of a Disney Plus, but at the same time, it's a streaming service. Then, of course, BET eventually became somewhat a Tyler Vision in itself with a bunch of Tyler Perry content. He spread out to like Netflix and other streaming platforms in terms of making content. And now Tyler Perry's in talks of taking majority stake in BET itself. That's crazy. What a story, though. What a story. But then I reached the point of concern, and that's the fact that if he does have majority ownership, could that mean way more Tyler Perry content than we are already getting? Now, on the one hand, as a content creator, where a bulk of my content revolves around Tyler Perry, this is a win-win. I mean, this is like endless content for me to review for, the rest of my days on YouTube, But on the other, will it just be more of the same and or potentially worse content? I mean, we're almost wrapping up season 5 of Sisters, and this has easily been the worst season ever. Ruthless season 3, pretty damn good. Zatima season 1, pretty damn good. Oval season 4, a step up from trash season 3. Assisted Living, I still love it. Ratings aren't good. House of Pain, take old Yeller behind the barn. I mean, I will say this much. Tyler has said that he has started handing the reins to shows to other people, writers and directors. And he is slowly kind of phasing himself out, where he's stepping back, from doing everything himself and allowing other people to do it. So maybe if he does take the whole, BET majority stake, he will take more of an executive role, if you will, and then allow other people to do, the work he does by himself in order to create content. Now, if there was anyone to give a network to, knowing that they'll be able to create the content, it's Tyler Perry. No doubt about it. But in terms of the actual quality, I don't know. I am a bit, nervous, but I will say he has such a back catalog of shows and movies, he could easily put it on the network. I've said it since like 2020. First season of the Haves and Have-Nots alone. Put that on the network. Watch it run circles in terms of ratings around the likes of Sisters, The Oval. Like, put the highest rated Tyler Perry Viacom. Well, that's Sisters. The highest rated Tyler Perry show on BET right now. And then compared to like, Temptation Tuesdays, the Haves and the Have-Nots. It's not even a contest. Because there are people out there who still haven't watched the show. You know, like maybe they've heard of it when it was on the air. And it's not uncommon for big networks to, you know, purchase shows that have already, you know, aired and they're done. Like, oh, this show had 5 seasons, you know, like 7 years ago, but we'll go ahead and purchase it because it's cheap, and then we'll just throw it on whatever on the network we have as, you know, reruns. I mean, look at House of Pain, for example. Before the BET reboot, you know, all 500 episodes were airing on BET. And with the haves and the have-nots, because OWN, even when it was airing the haves and the have-nots, and not everybody had OWN, it had higher ratings than Sisters ever did. Yes, check it out on Wikipedia. Compare the ratings, you know, for both shows during their initial seasons. I think the haves and the have-nots would just kill it on BET because it's just so different from everything else. Now, you know, if Loving You Was Wrong, this would be the perfect time for the OWN shows to get a, you know, I don't want to say a reboot, but, you know, a revival of sorts where it will be on BET, and there are people who haven't seen the shows. Granted, a lot of us know how the shows end, but at the same time, rewatching those first couple seasons will be pretty damn good. I'm just really concerned because some of the shows that are currently on BET that Tyler Perry has, they need to go. They just do not need to last longer. But if he owns a majority stake in BET, this could possibly give a lot of those shows more shelf life in terms of, oh, well, you know what, let's keep going with The Oval, let's keep going with Ruthless. And it's like, no, they need to go. They need to go. But there's also the possibility that just because he is the, you know, majority stake owner, that doesn't mean other black creators won't be able to make content. But I think a lot of people are saying the same thing. Tyler Perry, you know, is too much of a good thing, too much of a good thing. And based on the Viacom stuff that's out there now from Tyler Perry, yeah, I do think that too much of a good thing is too much of a, well, what do you call it? It's too much of a mediocre thing. I don't know. I just think that, like I said before, I'm kind of torn because this is just like, okay, no doubt, content to review for years. But then again, even before this deal came out, I always knew like Tyler Perry's constantly expanding the studios. Your boy's going to have a lot of stuff to cover for, you know, years to come. But taking majority stake in BET, I mean, I don't know. I'm conflicted. I really am. I really am. I will say this. If he does take majority stake leading to a lot of Tyler Perry projects, I do hope he will rotate cast. Like, you know, one of the biggest things for Sisters is a lot of these cast members don't need to be on the show anymore because their characters have long since outstayed their welcome in terms of being anything close to relevant to the plot. So why not put them in other projects? Or, you know, from another standpoint, could we be seeing the revival of Have and Have Nots if Loving You Is Wrong? You think about it now. When Tyler got to BET, he brought back House of Pain, and I guess you could call Assisted Living the spiritual sibling of Meet the Browns. So if he does take that majority stake and he needs content, I'm thinking, okay, let me test run it. Let me put out the first couple seasons of If Loving You Is Wrong, Have and Have Not, see what the people are saying. And if the shows do good in ratings, then somewhere down the line, I want to go ahead and bring them shows back. So he could be relying on the nostalgia aspect for ratings, just like he did with House of Pain and Assisted Living, and we could see our shows come back. That's what I think personally. But yeah, with that being said, what are your thoughts on, you know, Tyler Perry's potential acquisition of the majority stake of BET? I mean, if nothing else, if you're an inspiring actor, writer, director, this could be a big, you know, hope for you. Like, okay, if he's taking majority ownership and that leads to a lot of future Tyler Perry content, then there's a chance that somewhere down the road, I could be working for Tyler Perry Studios and be on BET myself. So yeah, I can see a lot of good and a potential bad from this, but you know, hey, I'm the kind of person where it's like, seeing black ownership is great, but once, the cheers and whatnot have stopped from black ownership, what about when we get to the actual product? I mean, to me, it's like there's a difference between the person who is distributing the product. That's a feeling in itself. But I think the most important thing is once you actually give your money or time or attention to something, once you get the actual product, is it going to be worth the investment? That's my personal thing. Black owned is important, but I think black excellence is something a little bit better. That's just my, take on it. So let me know your thoughts. I really want to have a good discussion about this. But like I said earlier in the video, I think it's pretty interesting how at first Tyler wanted his own streaming service, and now he's possibly going to have something, to the effect of his own network. All right. Now, with that being said, I will catch you in the next one.